I'm so happy to know you were going to come and see us again, man.
Come on, now. You know I gotta come see you.
It's been a minute, though, and I really appreciate your energy and your time, your music as always.
Thank you.
Staying productive. Bryson Tiller, welcome back to Apple Music, man. And we have a lot to talk about. But first of all, let's just focus on where you stand today, man. Things are great, right? I mean, you just did you got to play with someone who you obviously have huge admiration for.
Absolutely.
Chris Brown, be a part of the Breezy Bowl, which is out there doing stadiums right now and just making a lot of people very, very happy. How was that experience, man?
Amazing, man. I just get to learn from him every night, and just to see so many people come out and support the guy. Like, you know, he's been in the game for a very long time, and he's been amazing, and, you know, his talent is just extraordinary, and just being able to see so many people come out to be like, yo, we still love him no matter what. And, it's just great to see.
It's beautiful for you to be able to have that experience, you know, to be able to play these kind of shows, large shows, you know, reach out to an audience on that scale in one go and realize what your music means to people as well, especially 10 years on from this incredible introduction that we all just embraced and continue to love to this day in Trap Soul. And then, you know, you've continued to make great music ever since, including this double album, which we're going to talk about very, very soon. But, you know, have you been in a reflective mood? Because these anniversaries roll around, life continues to go. And if you're blessed enough to celebrate one, why not experience it again through a new lens? How has it been to kind of think about 10 years?
I'm big on holidays, anniversaries, nostalgia, all of that. So every time this day comes around, I like to celebrate. I mean, I think my third studio album was called Anniversary, which was celebrating my 5-year anniversary of Trap Soul. So we'll be celebrating 10 years of Trap Soul, 5 years of Anniversary, because they dropped on the same day. And then, you know, Solace will be born on October 2nd, which is also the anniversary of those two. So
Solace, part one of a 2-part album, and interestingly, you gave us the Vices first. So you took us to a place where it's dynamic and there's tempo and there's pace, and even in your delivery, you know, you're leaning into a space that we know you can, but you are wholesale in that space. It doesn't change the fact that Solace is a very different experience, and we're going to get to that. But why go with the Vices first? Why take us to the end?
Because you know, it was the summertime, and like I had Solace ready for a while. I did update one song or whatever, but I had it ready for a while, and I think that project to me always started as a fall project. Yeah. I mean, even with the cover, you know, we went back to Kentucky during the fall time and shot it, shot the cover of it.
You can see the color of the leaves behind you. It's a beautiful shot, man.
Yeah, thanks. And we went back to shoot that, and, you know, I don't know, that is the time where my life changed. You know, I just get this drive, like, during the fall time, of like, man, I got to change something and change my life. And back then, that was literally the time everything changed for me. Like, just driving around Louisville and, you know, it being fall time and listening to all my favorite songs from the fall, and just I think a lot of my favorite projects. I think Drake had dropped something in the fall time, and that's just my season, man. It's like coming up on cuffing season and cuddle season, whatever you want to call it. You know, you're starting to think of, during this time, you start to think about that person you're going to end the year with.
Well, you're racing to the end of the year too, so you're starting to take stock for the first time. What have I done this year, and how do I want to change my position going forward?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, the reason why I was like Vices first is like, let me just get the fun out of the way. This is like my summer, you know, and I actually created Vices second after Solace, and because, you know, I was talking about a lot of my feelings on Solace, and you know, I was like, man, I need to. This is depressing. It was like I treated Solace like really like a therapy session. And
you say in the first song, you talk about music as the therapy.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I really want people to listen to it that way, like almost as if I'm sitting on a couch, and then, you know, you're just listening to what I'm saying. Like, don't listen to it as songs, or don't even think of it as like what's going to be the song that we all listen to. Like, I don't want anybody to even listen. Just listen to me speak. Like,
I know, and I want to honor that intention, but then you play me star signs, and it's hard for me not to.
I feel you.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's not like, you know, you can sit there and deny yourself or anybody else, you know, your natural inclination to build form around these thoughts. But they're very beautiful thoughts. Can we talk a bit about Solace? I know we're a little ahead of schedule, but to your point, it starts with a pretty open and honest, admission. You've always, I feel, even at a time when you've been kind of taking a look at your relationships or situations in your life and assessing judgment, you've always been quite close to accountability as well. I feel like that's kind of a part of who you are, that you recognize both sides of that.
I'm glad. I hope people out there hear you say that for sure, because I definitely am I love to look in the mirror and, you know, look and think about my flaws and point out my flaws, and not just physical appearance, but just like things that I've done in my lifetime and try to fix them. You know, I don't want to keep repeating the same mistakes. And if I do, I think I really, really need to step back and figure out like, yo, what am I going to do to change this? And, you know, am I going to meet somebody who's willing to, I don't say necessarily help me, but just accept me for who I am and not necessarily judge me the way we're all going to be judged whenever we go to heaven, you know? The way God's gonna judge us. I don't know. I just wanted to, I don't know. I'm just big on accountability overall. So yeah, that's just how I am.
You know, there's also some really interesting thoughts that you put through the music that show a side of success that a lot of your peers don't really address. I'm thinking about Workaholic. I'm thinking about that idea of taking a step back and acknowledging what that first wave of success feels like, and actually the fear that comes with that. Yeah. And that thought of like, now I've got it, can I hold on to it? And do I spend this money? Do I save this money? What if I don't get money again like this? What if I don't have another hit like this? Yeah. I found that song really, really eye-opening and really interesting to listen to, because it was just a very, very straight take on that.
I appreciate you saying that, and I was that was definitely my goal, because you know, I'd heard a lot from my partner that I work too much, and I'm always thinking about work, and at that time, you know, there was a lot of discussion about whether or not I was going to be around 10 years from now. You know, whether I was still going to be making money, whether even for me, like I would look in the mirror and be like, damn, can I do this? Am I going to be able to? You know, my grandma would ask me for things, and I used to always tell her, hey, Mama, I don't know. You know, I don't know if I'll be able to do this. I don't know if I have the confidence to make music. And then she passed, and then everything changed for me. That was like right before Anniversary. I started making Anniversary after she passed, actually. Yeah. Anniversary album. But anyways, like I think those are things that I think about, and I just wanted that person that I was talking about on the song to understand that it's bigger than just me wanting to be in the music industry and be popping and for people to think that I'm good. It's like I got people that I want to take care of. Yeah. And, you know, this is the only thing that I have right now.
This is my purpose.
Yeah, if I had anything else that I could make money from, I probably would have did that. And I don't know, I was just in such a deep of a hole that I had to work harder than I ever worked before, because it's like I'm the reason why I failed. So I was like, I need to.
I know. Dude, life is great right now, and we're going to get to this point where you stand today, because I'm all about staying in the present. I'm really happy for you. You know, these records and these shows and everything is going in the right direction. So I don't want to go back and relive things, but I think it's really important for an artist like yourself, who a lot of people look up to and listen to your music and put on a pedestal to some degree, understand that real life happens regardless of success or what you choose to do with your life. And you've been through some real life.
For sure. A whole lot. I mean, all of us have been, you know, so I don't want to make it sound like I'm just a special person.
No, but it's you and me talking right now, man.
Yeah. And I was going to tell you too, like, you know, you Zane Lowe, and I want you to know, like, all those other people, I don't know what they told you before, but like, you don't have to use a filter with me at all. You can ask me whatever the hell you want. You know, that. I know you and I know how you move. So like, just you ask me whatever you want, you know.
I appreciate that, Bryson. I've always really appreciated you as an artist and always enjoyed talking with you. And I love the fact that, you know, you're opening up too. I always really respect artists, and this is going to sound like a super disingenuous thing for someone like me to say, who loves to connect on the spirit of making music. But I do respect it when artists hold back and are very deliberate about how they present themselves outside of the art. And I loved that era in your life and the way you did that. It gave us a chance to connect to the music in a very authentic way, and you never over-explained it. But I have really enjoyed seeing you kind of get ahead of that a little bit too, show people who you are. What prompted that? About a year or so ago, you started to kind of show up and say, hey, you know what, man, I don't know, you tell me, was it, I really want to kind of be afraid of that anymore maybe? Is that too strong a term?
I had a breakthrough moment with one of my mixtapes that I was doing on SoundCloud. Well, all of them really. Like, I was going through some things, and I was working on the Bryson Tiller album, and I was just so tired of working on it. Like, I loved working on it. I was having a great time working on it, but like, I needed a bit of freedom, because it felt like everything was like, work on this, work on that, submit it for sample clearances, let's see if they get back to us, and then maybe we can release it 6 months later. And I hate that. I'm a free bird when it comes to art. And like I like to just create, and if I want to, that's how I'm feeling right now. I want to give it to the
and
people.
also, you're so deep in that project at that time that to turn it's like a renovation.
Yeah.
They take it down to the studs, and then you're like, by the time you realize, I don't even know if I want to see this through anymore. It's like too late.
Yeah, exactly.
It's too late. You got to see it through.
So at that moment, I was like, I'm going to Miami for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a mixtape. I'm gonna put it on SoundCloud right away.
Yeah.
Like I don't care. I don't care who mixes it. I don't care about sample clearing. I don't care about none of that. I did that, and because I did that, I ended up having one of the biggest rap songs of last year, which is Whatever She Wants.
Yeah.
And that came from me going to Miami and just having fun and just releasing the restraint, freeing myself from the restraints that they were giving me, and I was just like having fun. And I was really uncomfortable actually when that song came out because I was like, oh man, this is like, I'm kind of talking kind of reckless on here. I don't know if, I'm rapping too. So I was like, dang, this is uncomfortable for me.
Because you were unfettered when you were creating it. You weren't thinking about the reaction.
Yeah, exactly. I was just having fun, but it took off, and it ended up being the most successful song on that entire album. It's the only reason why, I don't want to say the only reason why people talk about the album, but like it's a big reason why people even will talk about that album. I mean, it's the only reason I would say RCA is happy with the album because it has all these numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But that was my breakthrough of being like, okay, you know what? Like maybe being uncomfortable is good. It's something I learned in the gym. Being uncomfortable is definitely good. You want to that's how you grow.
Yeah.
So I was just like, when I went into Solace, I was like, man, I'm just gonna say what's on my mind, things that might make me uncomfortable. I'm gonna start doing things that I wouldn't normally do, like I'm doing voice acting stuff on Instagram and TikTok and just trolling and having fun and just like showing my personality without caring about how people are gonna perceive it or feel about me. I just don't even care.
Well, it means that when you come back to how you really feel and you've got that stuff that ultimately falls in that category of like, shit, I've got some stuff I've got to release, otherwise it's going to eat me up. Like I even think of an interlude, like Sick Interlude. I think about that ultimately is a list. And you're just like, look, unapologetically, this is the shit that fucks me up.
Yeah.
And even the bit like I'm sick of being uninvited. I'm not being invited. Like that's a really powerful statement to make. It's just like, it's not a nice feeling to know that my value is not being recognized to the degree that I feel it should.
Yeah, it's tough, man. That's something I dealt with for the longest time. Just feeling like people always saying, yeah, Bryson, you're this, you're that, you got this accolade, you got that accolade. And then seeing the accolades that I have, but still not being invited to stuff and being looked at and being made feel like I'm one of them. You know what I mean? And when I say them, I mean all the heavy hitters who are like doing things. I always see everybody clicking up and having a good time.
But isn't that to some degree, and maybe you touched on this before when you talked about the accountability aspect of it, but you're such a snow leopard. Like Walter Mitty, where he's like waiting for like months for that leopard to come out so he can take one photo of it, like in that film.
Yeah.
And it's like you moved in such a stealth way. It was almost like, I don't want to be invited.
I've heard that too. I've heard that people think that that's how I want to be.
What is it though? Was you shy? Was it a shyness?
I was shy, man. Like I was 22 years old when I came into this industry, and like starstruck. I was very starstruck a lot of the time, and I just didn't know. I didn't even know how to text celebrities. Whenever they would text me, I would be thinking about my text message.
What's my language?
Yeah, like 20 minutes before I would send it, like deleting. So like I'm like, oh man, I don't want to make this person upset. Like I don't know. So I was distressed, and I didn't really talk to too many people for a little while there. I literally was just going to UPS talking to my coworkers every day. So it took me a while. Like I went from talking to my coworkers every day, being a father to my little 2-year-old at the time, my girlfriend at the time, to talking to celebrities. Like how was I supposed to deal with that? And I feel like a lot of people was like, oh yeah, this is just, he might be weird or something. He might be lame. He ain't like us, whatever. Yeah. And it's like, that ain't the case, man. Like, I just needed like a mentor, coming into somebody to kind of like walk me through it, like, yo, blah, blah, blah. And
mentor.
Yeah, somebody to just kind of walk me through it. But
it's a really powerful observation. I think we get in a real way of thinking about like quick success, like, oh, you should be prepared for this. You should have wanted that. You mean, what was coming.
Yeah.
How do you fucking know what Trap Soul's going to do? You don't know.
Right, I definitely.
You don't know.
No idea.
No idea. But man, that album changed your life. And now to be able to look back on it before we catch up, must be really nice to be kind to that record and to know that through all the life you've been through in the last 10 years, the ups and the downs and the growth, that record stands firm as a beautiful body of work and a powerful representation of you as a human.
Yeah, man, I'm super appreciative and grateful for it, like the love that I've received for that project. At first it was bittersweet because, you know, nobody was saying that when it released, but I mean, I guess that's kind of unrealistic for people to be saying what they're saying about it now, right away.
It's destined for influence. That's what influence does. It takes time.
Yeah. So, I struggle with that for a little bit, like hearing people and, you know, money, you know, I feel like the check didn't really read what people were saying. They're like, oh man, you're a legend. I was like, dang, you know, why? I mean, I got money, but like, why do I feel like I don't have as much as, like, you know, whatever. So it was a struggle for me to accept that, but I think I finally accepted that it is what it is. And, you know, I think one thing that I can't accept right now is when people tell me that I have to do it again. That's the most annoying thing that I deal with, like just saying, hey, you have to do that again or else you'll never be respected in my eyes. Like, that's how people have made me feel. I'm just like, man, like,
that is bold.
It's one time not enough, you know what I mean?
That's
like,
bold.
Yeah.
I don't think in my wildest dreams, no matter how much booze I have in my system, I would ever have the courage to say to anybody, you're not going to add up to my expectations if you don't redo that. And if I did, put me to fucking bed.
Yeah.
With authority.
It's just not kind, you know?
It's not kind. And it also, it's a very, very sort of thoughtless thing to say to somebody who really is your only job, if you could even call it that, is to reflect where you stand today through your music.
Yeah.
Get into the vices and getting into the second part of this equation. I want to talk about the energy behind that. I feel like Kentucky plays a big role in the flow and the feel. It always does in all your music. But I don't know. I just feel like you're really at home in that space.
Yeah, I'd say. You know, I've been living in Florida for some time, and I definitely picked up on, like, you know, just being around Florida artists and whatnot and listening to their music, like, it definitely influenced me a lot. But, you know, I'm always going to be like deeply rooted in like what Louisville represents and like how we are, you know.
And how is that? For people who've never visited, perhaps they listen to your music, a few other people who have come from there, or they're familiar with other cultural touch points from the state and from the city. What is it? What makes it unique as a child?
I feel like there's just like a certain smoothness to the music.
It's true,
you know,
man.
It's very smooth. Like ESTG, smooth rapper, Jack, smooth talker. You know, Static Major, smooth, very smooth guys. Just like we just are smooth with it. You know.
No, it's really true. That's a perfect description. How's Florida treating you?
I love Florida. I love Miami, Florida. I love all of Florida. Maybe not the Everglades. I've never been there, but maybe I should go there.
Dude, I went for a drive down the middle of that state once, from Naples to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Down the Alligator Row.
Oh, man, that sounds terrifying.
It's like an hour driving down one lane that way and one lane that way. I'm probably like over exaggerating that. That's what it felt like. And on the side of that shit is a whole bunch of like stuff that prevents you from. Basically, there's a whole lot of bollards and stuff and barriers. And I was like, why are these barriers in existence? Because left and right is just thousands of miles or hundreds of miles of just swampland.
That's crazy.
And the driver was like, well, if you fall asleep at the wheel, you end up in the swampland. And if you end up in the swampland,
you swamp food.
Your dinner. And there's been cases where there's been car accidents. I don't know if this is urban myth. You know about this? There's been cases where there's been car accidents on that road. Cars have flipped or lost control. Someone's been incapacitated and they come out. They crawl out onto the road. And
that's crazy.
That's where you live, bro. That's like real shit.
I ain't going that way.
So what is Miami to you, man? I mean, you're a father, obviously, and I love Harley's. I love Harley's outro. I love the whole sense of like, you're a proud father. I feel like we touched on that. When we spoke last time, how important being a father is to you.
Yeah, super important.
That balance between who you are as Bryson Tiller and who you are as Harley's dad and a dad of children.
It's being in the music industry is tough because like I'm always gone. But I think my oldest daughter really, really understands now because she looks around and she's like, wow, my life is really cool.
How old is she now? Can I ask?
She's 12 now.
Yeah, she gets it.
On Harley's outro, she was about 4 years old.
Yeah.
But that was something that I would always go back and listen to when I was depressed and sad. And it's just a reminder that, like, if nobody else thinks I'm good, this person right here thinks that I'm good. And I'm just, I don't know. That's just the biggest achievement for me. And that's why I keep going, So, as far as balance goes, figuring it out day by day. I'm still making music. She always wonders when my last album is going to be. Not because she wants me to stop making music, but just because like she sees how much time it takes out of my life.
Yeah.
And she's just ready to have her dad back. You know, she hasn't had me in 10 years. You know, like I mean, I'm there, but like the way she had me before, like, you know, at one point she was really my best friend. You know, and you know it's not the same anymore. But you know, she's getting older, and you know, it's not over yet. We still got a lot of life to live.
Well, it's a job for life, bro. And there are a lot of promotions on the horizon. And, you know, right now, it feels like the job's changed. But it does get better over time. And, you know, they come home and all that work you put in when they were younger to raise someone really great, if you do a good job, which I'm sure you have, it comes back in kind in a really good way.
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
So much amazing music. You really blessed us with this. Truthfully, I would have been so happy if you just put out Solace and thought like, wow, you've given us enough for the time being, but to give us the Vices as well.
I appreciate you saying that.
Really spoiling us. And again, just with the honesty.
So it's safe to say Solace is your favorite then?
Well, right now it is because, just sonically for me, because I love the tempo of the Vices.
Yeah.
And to your point, maybe it's just because we're coming out of summer and I'm looking for something that's seasonal.
Yeah.
But also, I've lived with the Vices for a bit, and I've only just got my head around Solace. And I you know me, man. I like, if I could be selfish, a selfish fan. Like all fans have their preferential.
Yeah.
I love it when you pull yourself apart.
Vulnerability, you know.
You know.
Yep. I
There's
respect
something
that.
about your tone of your voice and the way you perform in that space.
Yeah.
You can smash the fuck out of bars.
Yeah.
But when I hear you going somewhere deep, like even in Strife, the way it's just that there's a pain in there.
Yeah, definitely. I was very stressed out when I made that one, for sure.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. That's the one thing. A lot of people were wondering if it was going to be a true double album or not, or if it was just a bunch of songs.
No, it's a true double album. I mean, it's conceptual.
Yeah, and I was trying to explain to people, I'm like, yo, they're very different, you know, from one another, and you'll see that. And you know, I'm just excited for people to hear it and experience it. And you know, my one wish, and I'll probably say this to my fans, but like I just want everybody. I don't want nobody to listen to it with other people. I want them to listen to it alone. Like
I would agree with that. That's absolutely the preferred way to do it.
Yeah, just me and you talking. Just listen to me, and just feel me, and then decide later on if you like the music. But just feel me first and feel where I'm coming from, and just. If I just want to see if you've ever felt how I felt before, you know.
That's a very fair request. Having listened to Solace, I think I would agree that people should carve some time. By the way, music deserves that. I think often we put music out and we think that it should just fill a portion of the space in our life. But why can't we set aside 45 minutes or an hour and really listen to what someone has to say and see if we figure out something about ourselves?
Yeah.
Like when I hear Autumn Drive, man, like I know you're talking about a specific time in your life, but the emotion of that music makes me feel something else.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. People should allow themselves that gratitude, I think.
Thank you, man. For real.
Bryson Tiller is with us right now. We're talking about a beautiful double album, you know, two different sides of your life. You talked about the stress that you were going through when you were making a song like Strife and what was going on with Solace. And how do you translate that into the studio into a performance? How do you get it so that you know it's an honest representation of what you're feeling, but it's not so honest that it's no longer a performance you can stand by in 6 months when you're outside of that pain?
I would say that I learned that from Trap Soul for sure. How to deal with that, because eventually it just becomes, I don't know, it's like commercialized at that point.
Yeah.
Like Exchange was something I was really feeling. Right My Wrongs was something I was really feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
And I cried when I was making Right My Wrongs from Trap Soul, but I
Love that.
I don't cry now when I listen. I mean, I had one other moment where I cried, and it was when we shot the music video, because I was thinking about it, and I think my daughter and her mom had just left town, and they were on a flight, and we were shooting music video at the same time, and I broke down. But anyways, once it becomes like a thing, and people like appreciate it, and like the fans are singing it, and they felt something, and then they've cried with me to the songs, you know, at that point I'm like able to like detach myself from it and whatnot, and I can just look at it as a piece of art, But early on, it definitely hurts, and I feel some type of way, and I probably feel something again on the day when it releases, and people hear it, and maybe for that whole week, 2 weeks. Music is an energy thing for me, man.
Yeah,
it's not just
living and breathing for sure.
It's like people always wonder, like some of my friends anyways, like wonder why I get so sad on release days. It's just like because it's literally draining me of my energy. Like those are real things that I went through and things that I'm saying, or even with the Vices, like me just putting my time and effort into it, and then it comes out. It's just like now I'm being talked about every day for the next week or so, and then
there's that part, and then there's also a very real sense of mourning when you realize that it no longer belongs to you. I've heard this from a lot of artists.
Yeah, exactly. It's different. Yeah, exactly.
It is that feeling you get when your kids leave home. It's like, oh man, okay, like I
yeah, that's a great. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna have to start saying that.
But then you get to make another one. You get to keep going. I think there have been times as a fan of yours when I haven't been 100% confident that we're going to get a lifelong career out of this.
Yeah.
I think there's been times when I've thought like maybe you would choose a different path in life and it just wouldn't be worth it. Have there been times when you felt that way?
For real, and I'm working on a video game called Brutal Industry, and where you get to kind of experience that as
amazing
as a newcomer. Very fun, very retro. I'm excited for people to play it. But
if you need an annoying Kiwi avatar to ask questions at some point in the promo cycle, give me a call.
I will definitely give you a call. I'm serious. You can really be involved. But anyways, not like after realizing what this industry is and how it is, like the dark side of the music industry, seeing it. I was like, man, I really don't think this is for me. My energy wise, like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people, they're just built for this thing, I mean, I just don't feel like I am, being honest. But I love music and I will always create music because it's like, I'm good at it. Like, like I was using a reference to somebody like to the other day. It was like, it's like a guy who's like bodybuilding his whole life or whatever. Like, he might have just did that because his dad did it or something, and then he just started doing it because it took his mind off something, and he did it for so long. Yeah. But he really loves, I don't know, let's say he likes singing, you know what I mean? Yeah. And then he's doing singing now, and people are like mad at him because he's like, hey man, why are you singing? And it's just like, man, I know I'm good at bodybuilding and stuff, but like this is what I like to do. So for me, music is that thing for me. Like I just started doing music because I feel like it made me a little bit more cool in high school, and people started talking to me and they cared about things that I had to say. So I was like, dang, this is dope. And it was another outlet for me to write stories because, it was harder for me to get my like little comic books and stuff to people that I was making.
That's such a fascinating observation, though, if I can jump in real quick, because that suggests that, even as a young person, you were trying to figure out an identity that for connection.
Yeah.
That there was a disconnection perhaps with you and your peers. And it's like, how do I cheat code this into a way where I can actually have some connection here?
Yeah, precisely. Yeah, and that was what I achieved it through music, So I kept doing it because I just got like some dopamine from that, and I was just like, yo, let me keep doing this. Like, let me keep doing it.
People get to know you as that.
Exactly.
And it's harder for people to get to know you as
I
you.
can't go. It's like, but I'm getting out of that, I'm starting to do, but that's exactly why my first game ties both worlds in together, the music industry and, game design and all of that, because that's my life. And I just, so
you consider yourself to really be a designer first and foremost?
Storyteller, story writer, whatever you want. My grandma used to always tell me she feels like I was going to be a journalist or something, but I really love to write stories, create stories, whether it's through a comic book, whether it's through a video game, whether it's through music. Any way I can kind of tell a story or build a world for somebody. Music is a cool way for me to build a world, like, because I can build a world within a song. But like, yeah, I mean,
even the artwork looks like, it looks like a film.
Oh,
it really does. It looks like just the font. I always can tell with the detail, right?
Yeah.
Like right down to the font, the color of the font, the autumnal color of the font. The opaque nature, how it sort of transitions from light to dark toward the right hand corner. All that shit is just like that is real 360 creative shit.
It was really just moments. I was taking pictures and I was like, this one needs to represent me. Vices needs to represent me having fun in the sun or whatever, and looking up, and it's just in a good mood. And the other one will be fall and. But yeah, I like telling stories.
Can I give you a different take on it for what it's worth? And this is not to change the intention, but when I look at the cover of Vices,
let me hear it.
I do see all of that. I see the sunshine and the palm tree, and I see the fact that it's shirt off and you're soaking it up. But I also see that it's interesting. I don't know if you meant this. I see the pain that can come with Vices too.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice that when you looked at the artwork that there's like two sides to it?
I definitely thought about that for sure because
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. I was yeah, I definitely thought about that at one point. Just like looking at my facial expression or whatever. It's like, dang, you know, my boy was talking about it actually, just about some of the things I was saying on Vices and like one, I don't know, there's just a lot of things that I feel like I went through on that project. And I don't know. Funny enough, I've been telling people, it's like I actually didn't really partake in any vices when I was making that project. So it's like the weirdest thing ever because like Solace, I was doing all the vices. I was smoking, drinking, just all the shenanigans you could think of just to get myself. And I realized after I finished it, I'm like, this isn't the way. And like I actually dreaded, like, I don't know, the recording process just wasn't fun for me at all.
Because you were somewhere else.
Yeah, I was somewhere else. And you know what I mean? Granted, I was able to somehow connect with all my, you know, my deepest emotions and be vulnerable.
And at what cost, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then for the vices, I was like, you know what? I'm cutting out all of that. Yeah. I'm not going out. I'm not smoking. I'm not drinking. And I finished it in like 2 weeks, you know? Just had so much fun in the studio. Just like, wow, this is so fun. And it was just exhilarating, you know?
So do you think that's the last time? I mean, who knows? Life is life and you never want to, you know, shit happens. But God willing, is Solace the last time you'll put yourself in a situation where that's what's required?
No. I mean, yes. Yes, absolutely. I've been sober ever since, by the way.
Yeah.
And I love it. I'm on a tour with Chris Brown. There's girls everywhere. There's, you know, weed, alcohol, just a good time everywhere. And I've just like been trying to like, you know, I try to enjoy it, but just without those things. And I just try to like really minimize, you know, because if this was back then, maybe I would have been more into it. But like now I'm just like, this is where I need to be for that clarity, because when I realized when I was making, I was like, dang, I have so much clarity. When I was rapping on the song with Rick Ross, I was like, dang, I haven't rapped like this in a minute, and I haven't like wrote like this in a minute. Like the way I was connecting my bars together was just like, dang, I don't remember the last time I've been so precise like this.
So can I ask you an honest question? And I want you to be as brutal with me as you can be. Okay. When I say that upon listening to both that I gravitate a bit more towards Solace, how does that make you feel? Because that was a record that came out of pain and out of, you know, the distraction of self-destruction to some degree in order to get to that place. And yet you are happier making the Vices. So I want you to sort of just try to translate how that makes you feel, because I don't want to make you to feel bad about that.
No, not at all. Not at all. It doesn't make me, like, even when I think about it, it doesn't make me feel like I need to go get drunk and high again.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing I know I need to do, I think I just needed to be drunk and high while I was making it because it was hard for me to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But now it's not that hard for me to be vulnerable. I'm kind of just like, no, let me just be vulnerable without that. But anyways, it makes me, I'm happy. Like, even if people were to say, hey, you know, I'm sorry, but Vices was better, you know, I'm okay with that. Like,
because you made both of them, bro. Flip a coin.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, I think it really just depends on how you feel. Some people don't want to be sad and in their feels, you know. Some people just want to have fun, you know. And I just felt like Solace couldn't have come out in the summer because it's like, this is the time where everybody's trying to, like, you know, have a good time. And, you know, so I just wanted to give people some music to have a good time to, even if they didn't have a good time to it, you know. It's just like, but I think after listening to Solace, you'll be able to, you can just like go to the next world.
No, it's beautiful. As soon as it comes off of Harley's outro and goes into the first song on Vices, you know, which really is just kind of a continuation of that thought process. Yeah. It makes total sense. What are you doing with all this time now? You're not kind of using it, drinking and sort of removing yourself from reality. How are you spending this? How are you spending this hard-earned space?
Reading. A lot of reading.
Yeah.
Video game design takes up a lot of my time.
It's crazy what you can do when you have time and you allow yourself time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've been trying to like help out my peers, you know. Like people have been reaching out to me for features and stuff, and I want people to. It gets tough because of, you know, tour and stuff like that and dad life, but I really just want to get to a point for right now. I do have my next album in the works. It's called Serenity. It's the one that I've been working on since 2018.
So on your Wikipedia sitting there. I ain't got to click on it yet, but it's waiting.
Yeah, I know. 2018, I started it, and then I stopped it because I realized I'm like, I can't even, the definition of that word, I just can't even relate to that. Yeah, I'm just like, I can't even. So anyways, I'm back to it now because I finally feel that piece of being able to be like, hey, man, I can make music freely now. Like, I can go in here and do whatever the fuck I feel. Oh, I'm sorry, cousin.
You can fucking swear, bro. Okay, you're in a good place.
Yeah, so I was like, yo, I can go in here and do whatever I feel. There was a point where I would go in the studio and I didn't know. I was so lost on how to do things. And my second album really reflects that because I was like, dang, I don't know what to do because people were telling me I need to do this or do that. You know, you need to do it like this. And you need to make this type of thing. And I was just so like trapped by people. Yeah. And that's why I really love doing my last album because I like broke free from that. Like it was just so much different stuff on my last album. I was like, I broke free from that. I was like, hey, nobody tell me what to do anymore. I'm going to do a pop song. I'm going to do a Paw Patrol song. I'm going to do a Christmas song. Everybody just shut the hell up. I'm in control of this. Nobody's in control of this. I am. You know, I'm the artist. Please, please respect that. And yeah, I had that breakthrough, and now I've just been, I've been creating freely. When I go in the studio, I do exactly what I feel. I trust myself, and that's just the best feeling ever, man. When you can trust yourself and what you.
Dude, I think that's a beautiful place for us to pause so we can come back in the future. I hope you feel you're always welcome in the studio, bro, because I always look forward to it.
Yeah. And,
I remain a fan of you and all your output, the tough stuff, the hard to listen to shit, right through to the stuff on Vices that feels like you've cut through into the altitude, some blue sky.
Yeah.
And you seem really good, man.
I'm very happy, man. I'm doing what I love. I'm on tour with, somebody I love. And yeah, man, it's just a great time. Life is great. It's so good that I'm afraid, like, what's gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
you're good.
Life is really good, man, and I'm just blessed. And I just want to keep giving my fans music and just sharing that light with people.
Bryson, thank you, man.
Thank you.